doing today? Hope everyone is doing well. I know I am. Sorry I started a little late. I had to get something to eat. Had to scarf down this sandwich real quick. So how's everyone doing today? Hope everyone is doing well. A lot has changed in a week, I can tell you. As you can see down below, I can now take subscribers and take bids, and I don't know, maybe you could have always taken donations, but I don't know, who knows. But glad to have everyone here back for episode 4 of Canna Talk, and today pretty much we will be talking about my visit at the farm. And this is my first ever visit to any cannabis farm. And actually, give me 1 second. Get some water really quick. Okay. So, yeah, like I said, this was my first ever visit to any cannabis farm. It was super interesting, I can tell you that. Very interesting take, and just to see how this farm does their grow and how they carry out their whole mission and everything. Like I said, I'm not going to give any names to as to who the farm was or where, or I mean it's located near my near where I live in Monterey, Watsonville. Tends to be actually one of the bigger areas for growing. Actually, one of the best places to grow anything, period, in the world. The Monterey and Watsonville area actually has this soil called Los Osos loam. There's like a soil database that it's like incorporated in. It's soil number 146, and the interesting thing about this soil is that it basically is one of the like I said, one of the best soils that's around. Actually holds the most moisture and has the most nutrients out of any soil that's in the world. And another thing that I read was that soil will vary depending on how far to the coast it is, obviously. So I guess the soil with more sand, which will be the soil, I guess, west of the highway, they consider it, that's considered to be I guess more sandy and not as good for growing. And then east of the highway, you have a lot more clay in the soil, which I'm not sure if any of you know. I just found this out for the first time when I went over to the farm, that just regular dirt and clay is actually like one of the best combinations of soil to grow anything. So that's kind of like the plot of land that they're on, this Los Osos loam soil, which allows them to pretty much grow whatever they like, which in turn explains so much as to what their mission is, because they want to make everything pretty much as much organic as possible. I mean, the company even has organic in the name. And I'll show you guys actually right now, just to see, just to get a look at what the farm looked like. And I'll try not to show any faces in here just to save my coworkers a little bit. But yeah, here, check this out. It's actually pretty sick. So now, just to let you guys know, the way they do their grow process is basically if you can see these plots here, there's like these plots. So we came after harvest. It's because it's December, and obviously right now would not be a good time to grow anything because, you know, it's super cold. But unlucky for us, they had just harvested, so there would have been plants here in these little plots and everything. But it was interesting to see just how they do their grow process, because I'm sure many of you have seen grow ops on YouTube or anything like that, where they're all indoor and they'll have a bunch of lights and a bunch of pots and stuff like that. But this company actually does everything outdoors. And the way they grow is through this process that is apparently thousands of years old. It's called hugel culture. And it's basically making these things called hugel beds, which have wood stacked underneath soil. And then basically what the wood does is that it creates natural carbon for the plants to soak in and help them grow even more. It's kind of crazy. So basically, as the log sits there, it's dying and decaying, but because it's decaying, it's actually helping the other plants that grow on it grow even more and grow stronger, actually. So basically what you do is just gather a bunch of logs and you put just random soil. Usually they use their fresh made earthworm dirt soil that they have on their farm as well, and then cover all of the wood in a bunch of layers, and then just plant seeds in there. And they'll just have a bunch of seeds in there, and then the one cool thing actually about these hugel beds is that usually when you plant something, you have to water it over and over again or be on a watering schedule. But actually for this hugel bed, you actually don't have to have any irrigation system at all. So basically what you can do is once you set it up and put all the seeds in, you can just leave it. The hugel bed actually holds all of the moisture in and holds all of the nutrients as well, so that's why it's able to help those plants grow so strong. But yeah, I'll give you guys a look at what it's like. It may lag a little bit, but yeah, they had a bunch of dogs on there. But as you can see, there's a bunch of like different plants here. Some sunflowers, some tomatoes. Had a lot of tomatoes. But it was actually a really nice. It was a really nice place, I have to say. And I definitely learned quite a bit, I can tell you. It's funny, being in this industry for like 3 years now, there's still so much I have to learn. Given that most of my years in the industry were for working for a mostly retail shop, so I didn't have to know too much, but I had to know, of course, enough to get me where I am now, you know. And that's in a spot where I have to have a lot of cannabis knowledge in order to just even carry out my job and even do my day-to-day stuff. But going here definitely opened my eyes as to how people grow and how different grow processes are. And actually, the one cool thing that they did have was an original phenotype of ricotta peppers. And usually these peppers, they're like native to like Peru and Bolivia, but I guess somehow he and his wife were able to find like pretty much an original, it's like the original strain almost to the ricotta pepper. So it's like one of the original genetics that hasn't been messed with a lot. Just like one of the original true phenotype. So that was actually pretty interesting. And yeah, going here was quite an experience. I have to say, it was quite an experience. And then also to actually go to a farm and then not have it be like one big warehouse or even just like actual like work building period. It was actually, when we pulled up, we were surprised because it was actually a house, and then in their backyard was the farm. So I was like, well, where's the facility at? But it was great. They treated us like family, fed us some chicken and waffles, which is amazing. They sent us home with some goodies and stuff like that. But I'd have to say, for my first ever farm visit, even though there wasn't any flowers or any cannabis plants growing, I'd have to say it was definitely a fun experience. And I hope to go next time when they do actually have some plants growing, so it'll be even better. And I'll actually give you guys one last look into what these Hugo beds look like. Let's see if I got it here. Here we go. But yeah, it's pretty much the whole farm there. It's a pretty big little plot of land, and even next to it they had another farm that was being prepared. But yeah, you can see the little plots that they have for the cannabis plants, and they use all natural dirt, which they get from their earthworm farm. And so yeah, as you can see, it's pretty much just like a mound of dirt, and then they plop the seeds into the side of it, and then it just grows out. And yeah, they were telling us that they actually had to do no amount of watering at all, which I thought was amazing. The fact that you can grow plants and then not have to water it. You can just go off of their natural rain schedule and be good with it. But yeah, this place was really sick. This place is really cool, and I appreciate them for having us and letting us be there, because I know it's probably not easy, accommodating a lot of people, but yeah, like I said, I appreciate it, and I had a great time. I'm sure all of my friends and coworkers did as well too. But yeah, so what I also learned, another thing at the farm, was that one of the owners actually had breast cancer, and this was I think this was before she had went to the cannabis route. So she was doing the whole chemo thing, and it wasn't really working out for her. So she actually turned to cannabis, and it was actually, by the time they had to do surgery, the cancer was gone. So she was actually taking 75 milligrams of CBD twice a day, whole plant, and along with many other things, not eating meat, going on a healthy diet, and exercising, and many more things like that, taking vitamins and all a bunch of other stuff. But a big factor was taking CBD, and I'm sure many of you know that's pretty much the reason why I do this, and that's the reason why I pretty much do what I do every day, and even do these Canna Talks as well, to educate you guys and let you know how great of a plant this actually is, because it truly is amazing. And I mean, to see how far things have gone already it's already quite a spectacle, I can say. And then the last thing I want to say, at least on the farm topic, is a conference that's held every year. I'm not too sure when, but it's called CanMed, and there are basically a bunch of scientists, growers, and just pioneers in the industry that all gather together and have a huge conference or a con, I guess. Yeah. But yeah, so basically they talk about all of the newest things that are happening in cannabis technology or in cannabis regulations or laws that are going around in the world, and even possibly in your state. But yeah, so to go on to some other topics, since we are about halfway right now, a little bit over, just some basic cannabis news and what I've heard just recently. So in Michigan, there was crazy. I wish I had looked up this article, but basically there was actually there was nothing. So there was basically these planters or these gardeners that were supposed to put plants in front of the welcome to Michigan sign as people go in, drive in, and then apparently people were putting cannabis seeds into the actual mix of all the seeds. So when they had thrown all of the seeds and just started watering them, they had no idea. And even when the cannabis plant was growing, they started trimming it and had no idea that it was actually a cannabis plant, which I thought was freaking hilarious. And then they actually didn't notice until after, when the plant was 3 or 4 feet tall and it smelled dank as fuck. So so yeah, that was kind of funny. You've been growing this plant this whole time, and yet you had no idea that it was being it was actually being grown as a cannabis plant. So yeah, that's one thing new. And actually, another thing that's been coming up quite a bit lately is news of I don't know about California testing facilities, but I guess testing facilities in general. When a flower vendor, a weed vendor, sends their stuff off to go get tested, they have to wait this 10-day period in order for them to test it and to send it back. Now, depending on which lab, and this lab in particular, they have formed alliances or some type of friendship where they were boosting testing results. So if something was testing at 17% THC, they would just be like, you know what, let's boost it up to the 20s to get it up there to make it really sell. So people and even testing facilities are even cutthroat like that now. And it's crazy because these people rely on these testing facilities so that they don't have to worry about, oh, is my shit being sprayed with pesticides? Oh, is this laced with whatever? The testing facility is supposed to be the area where you can have your peace of mind. And I might as well call them out now. Sequoia Testing was busted for falsifying test results. And I'm not too sure if it was actually like falsifying percentages, but from what I heard, it was actually lying on the pesticide results, which is huge. I can understand for one testing, but pesticides is one thing that you don't want to mess with. Especially since, people are going to consume that at the end of the day. And if there are pesticides in there, period, people can be allergic to it, or people can even die from it, just from even smoking this tiny bit of it. So yeah, to find out that that's actually been happening, and that's actually been happening more often than not with these testing facilities, granted that there aren't that many in California already, it just blows my mind, because like I said, this is supposed to be people's peace of mind, and the fact that you're even messing with that is gonna turn that back onto the dispensary, because they're gonna be like, well, why are you guys trusting these vendors who are trusting these testing facilities and falsifying test results and all that? So it's like, it just becomes one huge fucked circle. But you know, it's just how I feel like the business world, and most definitely the cannabis world, is for sure. And hopefully things will clear up with that, and you know, they do their recalls like they're supposed to, and they're supposed oh, hey Colin, what's good, man? What's good, dude? Glad to have you here. But yeah, I was just getting into I was just finishing up talking about some testing facilities falsifying test results, dude. Kind of messed up. But yeah, so the fact that they would even falsify test results as far as pesticides is kind of an eye-opener for sure. And one of the other things, actually, something more that a Monterey cannabis user would know, just because for those of you that don't know, Monterey was actually one of the bigger areas where cannabis started in California. A lot of people think, oh, it was in San Francisco, you know, in the 60s and 70s, that's when it was a thing, or, you know, in LA or something like that. But from what I've been learning, and from what I've been hearing from a lot of the like original growers that were here back in the day, Monterey was actually one of the more poppin' places for cannabis. They were apparently getting like one of the main like Afghani flows when all the stuff was coming from Afghanistan. So one strain that I had actually heard about in particular is called Sage and Sour, and Sage and Sour actually is called Big Sur Chamba. Now, that strain in particular, Sage and Sour, is actually has been award winning for many years. And I want to thank these 5 viewers that are here coming in and sitting around for the lurk and just having me in your background. It is much appreciated, y'all. And hopefully you guys can get educated. But yeah, sorry for those of you that got in here a little bit late. I actually just finished up talking about the farm, but I will be posting all of this content on YouTube. I'll be editing it all down, or maybe just post the whole thing to YouTube. But obviously, you know, everybody can't make it here at 6, and the Nightbot. The Nightbot was like, bruh, stop. Yeah, don't worry about the Nightbot, Bill. But yeah, so where should I go from here? Talk about the day today? Well, day at work was pretty solid. Didn't really do too much. Got wrapped by the Nightbot. Yeah, sorry, bro. You know what? I don't know why I thought I had unmodded Nightbot, no lie. So let me unmod Nightbot. So why is it doing that then? Maybe I need to do that on the Nightbot thingy thing. But yeah. So yeah, the day was pretty solid. We had like 4 or 5 vendors in today about that. But yeah, we didn't have, I don't think we had any problems. I think today was pretty good. Yeah, for the most part things were good today. Usually we would have a bunch of hiccups with vendors, usually because they would either be, when we count it, they would be +1 or -1, or they wouldn't have an order at all. And then there's the vendors that just don't come in, period, when they're supposed to have a vendor day, or they're supposed to bring by product, but yet they just don't do it. But yeah, I would say the day was pretty good. I had to leave actually a little bit early just to come here and do the talk, but yeah, I kind of left my boy hanging a little bit. Sorry, Aunt. But I'll be there tomorrow, pick up everything, do all that. But yeah, I think we're about at 30 minutes, and I really just wanted to talk to you guys about my first ever farm visit and how well that went, and yeah, just let you guys know how the day went, because it was definitely pretty interesting. Learned quite a bit, and I hope that when I post this back again on YouTube for the people watching it for the first time, they'll be learning a lot as well. But yeah, I think that's pretty much it as far as my visit. I think I got one more actually, and it's something that actually has been happening for quite a while now, and I didn't even know. So I'm not too sure if any of you people have watched the movie Super High Me on Netflix, but basically it's this guy who takes tolerance break for like 30 days and then smokes nonstop for another 30 days. And in that, he actually visited a Cannabis Church. Now, this is in LA, and apparently the laws down in LA are a little bit different, actually a lot of bit different, just because there are a lot of unincorporated areas where they're selling flower by the pound, and that's highly illegal in California, and especially probably even anywhere else. But yeah, so apparently these cannabis churches are actually opening up shop in LA, and there's becoming more and more of them, and they're actually undercutting the dispensaries because they can sell it for cheaper, because it's like a religious thing, quote, I guess. I have no idea like what exactly the legalities are behind it, but I can tell you that they are undercutting all of the dispensaries because they can sell stuff for stupid cheap, and they can sell stuff by the pound and do stuff like that. So it kind of sucks for those dispensaries down there, because that's actually a problem. And I think that's what I had learned from one of the other people that was at the farm, that was visiting the farm. And the fact that they would use religion to sell cannabis is amazing. People cannot get any lower, honestly. And oh man, I guarantee I can already see all the stuff that they're saying in that church. Like, oh, God put this on the earth for a reason. We must use it. It's like vegans almost. Don't mean to bash on vegans at all. Look, vegans are great, but I'm like, it's like the same thing. God put this on the earth for a reason, made it grow naturally for a reason, so we're gonna use it. Oh boy, it sounds like Catholic school all over again. But oh yes, and given that we're at 35 minutes, 5 more minutes I have for you guys. So basically, what I had seen on Instagram, and this is what's happening in Canada right now, is actually quite amazing. Let me see if I have it here. Yes, here it is. For those of you that don't know about how much eighths and ounces are, at least here in California, your average eighth medium shelf, like mid shelf would probably medium shelf mid shelf would probably be around $40 to $45. Top shelf is going to be anywhere from 50 to like $70, no lie. And it's going to be a jump from 50, 55, 60, and then 70. But now that you know, and then an ounce is probably going for, the most top shelf is probably going for like around $400. This is apparently what's happening. This is in Oregon, my bad, not Canada. But yeah, this is what they got going on right now. $5 eighths and $40 ounces. This is posted by High Times magazine. What the fuck? Wow. Are you kidding me? Yo. I wish that's how easy it was for everybody to get cannabis, you know? Just walk into your local 21 and over place and, you know, buy an ounce of weed for $40. But you know, times are changing, and I wish California would get on to, you know, Oregon and Colorado's level already. We should have been regulating this like how they were regulating this since day one. But yeah, we're trying to still figure it out and twiddle our thumbs and deal with the BCC trying to figure out an industry that they have no idea what they're doing, or they have figured out an industry that they have never been in before. So, I mean, I don't know how long it'll take, but hopefully it doesn't take long. I mean, California is, you know, they're still trying to get things right. And especially with this new phase 3 testing, like I've talked about, that's happening come January 1st. It's going to be an interesting change to see how this will affect the seed to sale process, given that things are going to change for not only the grower, but also for the retail places. Also. So yeah, we will see how it all goes. But I think with here, we're at 38 minutes. I think we're about to end it here. But I want to thank you for everyone that has came by and showed some support, even just by lurking or, you know, calling. Thank you for coming in and chatting. But yeah, I think we'll end it here. I hope everyone is having a great day. I know I've had a great day just even being here and doing this every week. And honestly, it always brings a smile to my face knowing that I'm helping someone out at the end of the day. And yeah, I hope you guys all have an amazing night, and I will see you guys either within the next hour or so for another stream, or I will see you this weekend and definitely next week. But y'all have an amazing day, like I said. And yeah, deuces.